has been 3,000 years. And by 3,000, I mean exactly 1 year since my last PSA submission. The only reason why I stopped submitting the PSA to begin with is because they got backed up with the pandemic happening. And then honestly, I just never went back until they fixed their times, which they did at some point over the course of the past year. But yeah, I've been pretty much on my BGS kick for like the past year just because I like the accuracy the BGS has. You know, I've always been a bigger fan of the slabs. I just hate the service. I think they have the worst service. Just because, like, especially now. Yo, y'all know PSA has a whole app that is like super clean, and you can even like look at your grades there and everything. It's insane. Wow, the improvement that PSA has. The only thing I wish is they had more consistent grades, but that's it. Anyways, I kind of talked about that in my last video. If you want to go check that out, go over there. And honestly, I might just do a whole video kind of breaking down my overall thoughts of all the different grading companies that exist. But yeah, I have two sets of reveals here. Let's do PSA first because this is actually a anniversary pack that I found the other day randomly inside my closet. What's funny is I had a batch of like these empty packs I was about to throw out. Like they literally fell out of my closet. I've been sitting in there for like years now, actually, from the 2019 era of my channel. I was just opening packs left and right, and they all fell. As I'm picking up, I'm like, this is still open, or this is still sealed. Why do I have this? And I remembered I had bought 2 anniversary packs back then. I opened one, sent it in to get it graded, and the grades came awful, and then I just kept the second one sealed. And I guess I forgot about it. But yeah, I opened it, and I opened up all 8 packs. They're all the same packs. And I figured, let's just see what happens when we send them into PSA. I doubt we're gonna get anything good. The grades in the anniversary packs are just always awful. So I figured, you know, I'm gonna get 0 10s out of it. But hey, a couple 9s would be nice. But it's a good way to really like dive into the accuracy of these grades. So right off the bat, let's see what we got. I looked at these all before. I guess I just kind of revealed the grades. Let's just do this. I looked at these before I opened the packs. They were all pretty clean, but I don't think any were like 10 worthy. Like for example, you can see that has a little ding in the corner, and that's like the curse of the anniversary packs. They're for 9. We got a red ice 9. What I noticed about the pack here that I got, they were mostly either they had like a ding or like just something wrong with the card, and then a couple were off center. If I remember correctly, it was either the Jinzo or the Buster Blader, which were like very, very good in regards to the condition. But everything else, it did not look like it was 10 worthy. The blue eyes look good. I don't think the blue eyes will be a 10, but maybe a 9. I think last time when I submitted it back in like 2018, 2019, the blue eyes came back an 8. But yeah, the significance of these are all Drama Takahashi. You can always tell it's a Takahashi art because they don't have a border around these. As you can see, using this comparison, or Dark Magician Girl, notice how she has like a little border around the card. But all the Takahashi artwork, you get the signature in the corner, and then you get no border. You just get the art, which is kind of an interesting little twist for these. But yeah, we got a 9 for the first one. Ooh, we are in 8 million certs now. That's actually crazy. Next, we got, let me just cover this up. I want to see what this is. This one looks good. This might be the Jinzo. It is not. It's a 7. The Celtic Guardian got a 7. Ooh, I mean, right off the bat, we have awful centering. Yeah, look at that. That is significant. But why a 7? I feel like this would have been more an 8 or a not a 9. Definitely more of an 8. Maybe there's like a little dent or something somewhere. I remember one of them had like a little dot in the middle. Maybe it was the Celtic Guardian. But what I like about these is you get the different twists from the legendary monsters from the original series, Drama Takahashi. I love these. I love these. Next we have, I feel like, I like how I like look at these first before I even show you. Yeah, like look, see how it's got that little corner ding over here? I can zoom in, I might be able to see it just because of the lighting. But the next one is the Elf, Gyakutenu Megami. I'm gonna go ahead and guess like a 7 or an 8. An 8. Really, that was an 8, but the Celtic Guardian was a 7? Probably because of the centering, to be honest. But this is one of the best artwork for this character. I find it funny that this is the character that was chosen for the new designs when these were made. I know the Shiba Warrior was made because that was based off of his dog, if I remember correctly. I might be wrong on that, but something to do with that. But I don't know why the other 8 monsters, or 7 in this case, were chosen. Other than maybe they're just the OG ones. I don't really know. Maybe someone knows the details of why these anniversary cards were chosen when they were designed. All right, next we have, let me see what this is. Let me look. This, I'd say either a 9 or maybe an 8, but it's got like a little line there around the edges. The next one is, let me just cover this up. We got, oh, it's the Buster Blader. Okay, so Buster Blader was not the 10. It's probably Jinzo that's gonna hit the 10 if anything. 9? I'm surprised that the Buster Blader got 9 with this centering and the little ding in the corner over here. But whatever. Again, I love the artwork for this Buster Blader. It's so cool. It's so underrated. I feel like a lot of people missed this pack when it came out. What's the story with this? Where did this pack come from? Was it like a Shonen Jump promo or something? If you guys know the full details of where this came from, let me know down below. Nice way to learn some history lessons about these cards. Next, we got Summon Skull. Summon Skull, I remember, also had centering issue. This is going to be probably like a 8 or 9. 7. As you can see, it's definitely thicker on this side as opposed to the rest of it. It's also like kind of shifted upwards as well. How did you look in the back? Yeah, same thing. I feel like probably because I had these packs just, well, I doubt the pack just sitting in my closet did any damage. I think it's just how they were printed. They just didn't have the best print quality and stuff like that. As you can see, it's got a little ding in the corner. That's about it. So I guess the 7's fair. I do find it interesting that, what was it? What came back? Is it the Buster Blader, right? The Buster Blader? There's some inconsistencies between like the Celtic Guardian and like these. Unless the Buster Blader should have been a 7 just because of the centering and stuff like that. But you know, I'm not gonna contest that. As long as it's not a 10, and then you see like it's super off center or like a ding in the corner, you know, I don't mind that. At that point, you can kind of like debate with the grader how everything should have been. And then same here, it's just the edges are just a bit rough, as you can see. He's got a little dot right there in the middle. I think, and also towards the middle on the top as well, and the corner. And this one is the Shiba Warrior. So I believe this is the one that was based off of his dog. At least this is what I read online. I might be getting a story a bit twisted, or I'm remembering wrong, but it has something to do with a dog close to him. I believe it was his dog though. An 8. We got an 8 on the Shiba Warrior. Again, we got the signature in the corner and then the no border around. So these last two should be the Blue Eyes and the Jinzo. Like I said, remember the Jinzo was the only one that looked good. So this has got to be the Blue Eyes then, because this one has a little white ding right there in the middle. You see that? If I remember correctly, this is all the Blue Eyes. It's the Blue Eyes. 9? I'll take the 9. I love this artwork. I think this artwork is kind of underrated. You know what's crazy about all of these? Every single one of these cards, last time I checked, had like super crazy pops. They were like pop 4, pop 5, pop 6. If I remember correctly, the Blue Eyes should be like pop 6-ish. So either all the cards are really just that harsh in regards to how the quality was, or I feel like a lot of people just missed this pack. I mean, with the curse in Yu-Gi-Oh! Is there's a lot of reprints that happened over the course of the past like 25 years, especially different artwork as well. But I feel like this is the one Blue Eyes that like a lot of people kind of missed out on. And I love it. It's just Blue Eyes on top of a tower or something. Just kind of like roaring at the moon, pretending there's a moon in the corner. Like, this is fire to me. I like that. I like this a lot. Now I want to try to get a PSA 10 of this. Maybe I'll try to hunt down more of these packs. But I think the anniversary pack's like super expensive, something like that last time I checked. All right, and finally, the Jinzo. Like I said, the Jinzo was the best looking one. I mixed it up with the Buster Blader, but I doubt it's going to be a 10. But I'll take it if it is. And we actually do have a 10. Really? All right, now we're going to do an audit. Hopefully they didn't give me a 10 just because it was the only card that was left at this point. But like I said, I remember this one looked solid. This one looked solid. The centering is not perfect. But again, that's the thing about PSA. They have like a threshold where it could be like 55-45, something like that, or 60-40. As long as it's within that and everything else in the card is good, they're going to give it a 10. But this isn't that bad. I could give this like a 9.5 centering if I was to give it a grade. But the important part is the edges. Yeah, look at that. These edges are great. The only thing in my debate is the corners, because they're kind of like rounded. But a lot of older Yu-Gi-Oh cards were more rounded than the sharper stuff that we see nowadays. But everything else looks pretty good. I mean, I would say this is a decent 10. So I would probably assume this is like a pop like 5 or 6 or something crazy, something to single digits. Yeah, any Jinzo fans in the comments, let me know. This is cool though. Yeah, like I said, I was cleaning out my closet, and then bam, that literally when I say a wave of empty packs fell, a giant wave did, and amongst that was the anniversary pack that we're just sitting in this since like 2018. This is cool. All right, now we have to talk about CGC because, oh boy. Let me make sure this is upside down. Shout out to ZNG Emporium who sent this in for me. I know ZNG has an account. I don't have a CGC account, so I was just like, hey, can you just get these upgraded because they were 9.5s, and as you guys know, CGC had a new policy where all 9.5s became 10s, and then every like strong 9 became like a 9.5 or something like that. I'm not really sure. I mostly wanted to see what the new cases look like because, wait, these are the cases? Okay. First of all, I don't know why I jumped. Like I saw the 10 and I was like, oh, for some reason I thought the cases were completely different. These are the same cases. That's cool. Something I've always given CGC props for ever since I've held my first CGC card is the cases feel so like clear. One thing that BGS sucks with is I feel like their cases are like kind of foggy and clouded, that makes sense. And sometimes it kind of gets in the way. Like as you can see as I'm moving this around, you can see like the little case inside the slab that holds the card kind of gets in the way. You know, you can see like the light kind of like shining off of that. I never really liked that. And that's something that PSA did a good job with, because as you can see, it's just a card. And I think they usually do like a clear sleeve in the back or something like that. I don't think they do that for Pokemon, but for Yu-Gi-Oh, they sometimes tend to do that. But the card kind of pops. But with CGC, the card pops the most. By far the most. Interesting. This is not bad. I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I first saw this, the pictures, it looked super generic. And I'm like, what did they do? But I guess they just upgraded the slab, but the case is still the same. And it really makes the cards. See, this is the dilemma that I have. Now I would rather have my cards be in CGC slabs because it makes the card look the best. I just do not like the grade. So this is a 9.5. Granted, I will say this: all of these cards except for one were worthy of a 9.5 or higher. I don't know what it is about Blue Eyes that made them grade all super awful. I think as of today, there's still 0 PSA 10s. I think the main reason why they did it is because the Blue Eyes themselves have these weird like print dots, as you can see. You can see it all over the card. But I feel like if that's on every single card, that's not really damage. That's just, it's how the card is printed. If a card is printed that specific way, I don't think it could be better than that, if that makes sense. So I wouldn't adopt that. But like, I remember when I got this looked great, and the centering's fantastic. The card is like actually lined up correctly. I know some of these ghost rare cards were not centered correctly. I don't have a Dark Magician Girl in front of me. Like, I know the Dark Magician Girl is like super off center. Like, it was awful. But like, this is not bad. And also they printed on the back pretty well, outside the fact that they had those like weird smudges sometimes, but that was like on every single card. So yeah, I think this is still more a 9.5 just solely off of the smudges. But if we're talking about print quality that's like standard across the board for it, it's like, it's as good as it gets, if that makes sense. So this one is okay. I can accept this one as a 10. Man, this slab is a lot better. It's a lot better. Like, again, I don't like the label. I think the label looks so generic, like some random like third-party company. But like the card, I think what matters the most in a graded slab is, does it protect the card? Yes. And 2, how does the card look? Fantastic. This looks cool. It just shines so well. Well done, CGC. That actually surprised me, because the whole time I thought these slabs were just gonna be complete knockoffs of PSA to a T, but it's not. Next, we have Mystical Knight Jackal. This one honestly should have been a 10. I'll be real with you. Remember, I bought this as a 9.5. This is a card from my childhood that I loved and put in every single deck. And it looked really, really good. So this one, again, I accept as a proper 10. You know, I bet you what the grades were if it had actual subgrades, because all of these were just like straight 9.5s with no subgrades. Especially the subgrades were like 9.5, 10, 10, and like 9. Or maybe like 10, 10, 10, 9. It was probably by 0.5 away from a 10. But now it's a 10. This entire dilemma is weird to me too, because it's like a lot of 9.5s became 10s overnight and like completely just everything went apeshit. For example, the amount of first edition CGC 10 Charizards Shadowless that I've seen sell in the past like couple weeks is crazy. I think one sold for 100 grand, and one for like 80, and then one for like 50. But I will say this, all the ones that sold on the lower end looked awful. At least the one sold for 10, if I remember correctly, it looked pretty decent. I don't know if it was a true 10, but it looked pretty good. The other ones, not so much. You could tell that they were bumped from 9.5s to 10s, but we'll get to that when we get to discard, which is also my biggest issue with this like grade change. I don't think they should have automatically bumped every card to a 10. They should have reviewed it carefully, and then because they kept some cards as 9.5s, which is weird. So it's not like they even got rid of 9.5s. They kept like the 9.5 plus gem mint, whatever is a thing. We have Chaos Emperor Dragon. This is not a reprint. This is the original in a limited form. As you can tell, the real one ended up, or I guess the reprint one ended up saying this is the only card you can activate if you play this card. Again, I got this as a 9.5. I bought this, all these 9.5s I bought way before anybody cared, or before they even had the announcement that they're doing this. I just want to grab a bunch of cards that I didn't really care about who graded it. I just wanted a good price and a good grade and a slab. And I remember I went through a bunch. And I'm like, this one actually looks pretty good. And I remember when I even got this, I'm like, what made this be a 9.5 and not a 10? And I think the answer was there was that period where CGC was super strict with the grades and it handed out no 10s. I think that's probably what happened with this one. But this looks good. This looks real good. I mean, it's really well centered. The corners are great. You just get one more look. Yeah, the corners are fantastic. Yeah, the corners are great, man. I can buy this as a 10. I would assume this is a 10. Not selling on this, by the way. Everything in this video is not for sale. I want to kind of toss it out there before people are like, what are you selling? I'm not selling it. Not selling it. But we can talk about sales as well in regards to what happened with this recent spike. This is cool. I like that. And then the last one is Dark Magician. This one is another one I was surprised came back a 9.5. I bought this as a 9.5, but when I got it, I'm like, but why? It's well centered. There's no corner damage, no dings, no print lines. The big one, usually what you'll miss is print lines, but like there's no print lines on this. So this is another one I was like, why is this a 9.5? And I have this weird like tinfoil hat theory that a lot of times grading companies, if they see an iconic card like Charizard, Blue Eyes, Lugia, Dark Magician, they will purposely grade it harsher and avoid giving a 10 so they can like pop control in some way. But this one, with it being new and how well it looked, I was shocked that this was a 9.5. But hey, good news is, since it's a 9.5, no one wanted it at a time, and I got it for like a very, very good deal. So yeah. Now this one is the one that should not be a 10. We have a CGC 10 Lugia. This card I actually bought from a friend about 2 years ago. I saw it randomly pop up on Instagram in one of his stories, and I'm like, sure. It was a 9.5. And I will say this: when I saw this, I didn't see anything other than the fact it was like, you know, a story. It was a quick one. I was like, 9.5 Lugia, sure, it's a good price. I think I paid $800, and when I got it, I was very disappointed. Not by the card, but I was disappointed at how it was graded. Let's check this out. Let's zoom in. As you guys know, the biggest issue, you can see it right there. The biggest issue with Neo Genesis were the print lines. Now, some of this is on the case, but you see that line going from the bottom of this toe all the way across? That is a gigantic print line that is like visible to the naked eye. And when I grab my Lugia from BGS, you can see there's something similar because print lines were massive and just all over Neo Genesis. I don't know what happened. It's like they outsourced to a cat factory to print these cards for them. And I remember when I got this, I was excited until I looked at. I wanted to see like what made it be a 9.5, and I saw it. I'm like, there's no way that CGC looked at this and said, "Yep, this is a 9.5." I feel like that grade in itself should have been like an 8.5 or something. I mean, I will say this: the rest of the card looks great. Centering's fantastic. Edges are great. There's no whitening on the back as well. As you can see, like the card looks great. It's just that, and maybe that was their reason. They were like, well, the rest of the card is perfect. It's just got one line. Let's call it a day. But now, because of their new system, this is a 10. As a matter of fact, a unlimited Neo Genesis Lugia sold for $2,600 at the CGC 10, literally like 2 weeks ago. And I hope that that card they got was a true 9.5 or a 10, not like one of these where there's like a giant line going across it. I don't know. That's my only problem. I feel like the mistake, CGC doing their new system was not a mistake. The mistake was automatically upgrading everything. They should have like actually sat there and like really sat down and reviewed a lot of these cards. And I'll be honest, the reason why they probably didn't do it is because they probably didn't want to be backed up. They were like, hey, just send it in, we'll re-slab it. $10, you're good to go. I bet you that's what happened. But like, If this is me, I would have been like, this is a 9.5, bro. You can have a 9.5. 9.5 plus. The fact that everything automatically became a 10 is crazy. And we're seeing that right now. Like I said, the Charizards that are selling, I bet you the next CGC 10 Charizard that sells is gonna be like 40 grand. People are basically paying 40, 50, 60, $70,000 for a PSA 9, basically. I hate the consistency issues that some of these grading companies have, but hey, nobody's perfect. Like I said, everybody has one thing that makes their cards and their company better. And I will say this right now. The display factor of CGC by far looks the best. You just see the card. There's no like weird film over the card, none of that stuff. Like this looks really good. And then you got PSA, which is pretty simple. You know, they gotta focus on the card as well, but it doesn't like pop as much as it does. And then BGS, like I said, has the best slabs. I think BGS slabs just stand out the most. They're so like, they feel so thick, and their grading quality is great too. The only thing I gotta say is I will probably never grade with CGC just because I can't trust their grades to be consistent. At least not yet. For all you know, they're gonna get a lot better over the course of the future, and this current little fib that's happening is gonna blow over at some point. They're gonna forever ruin their reputation until everyone kind of forgets about it in the next like decade or so. But yeah. Anyways, let me know your thoughts. What's your favorite grading company? I mean, like I said, out of all of these are all accurate. These all feel great. Like I said, when I got these, I felt like they shouldn't have been 9.5s to begin with. And now they're in their proper grades. Even this one, which this one's debatable, but like I said, I think the only reason why this has never been a 10 with PSA is because of these like ink blots. But like, you can't really blame it if it's on every single card. It's like when you print the card, or when you make the card design and you put it in a printer and the blots are in the actual drawing itself, if that's what happened, then you can't really blame that as card damage. That makes sense. That's how it's printed. But I don't know. That's just my own thoughts about it. These all look great. But yeah, this, not so much. I don't know about this one. I don't know about this one, Chief. This print line is bad. It's not as bad. I will say this. It's not as bad as the first edition I got from BGS. There's several lines over there and they're awful. But this one is not good. Matter of fact, there's actually two. I can't tell if this vertical one, because I'll be honest, I don't remember this vertical one being here. This could be on the case. There's like a vertical one kind of going down from his foot. I mean, there's definitely the one that's going across. You see that over here. But I can't tell if the other one is on the card itself or if this is like on the actual case. Because like I said, when I had it originally, I did not notice that. So that might just be on the case, but still, I don't know. Anyways, let me know your thoughts on CGC and the PSA return. Got a little bit of there we go. A little bit of defocusing happening in there. But yeah, stay tuned for more. I actually got another batch, as I mentioned before, at PSA from a variety of cards featuring Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon, and Weiss. That should be probably in the next couple weeks. I'm not sure how long that can take because I did the slow one on that one. I want to see how long the slow one is. This one I did standard regular submission and it took like 4 days. Like, I'm impressed with how fast that took and their entire service overall with the app and everything. Like I said, I never use CGC. I don't really like their decision to make everything a 10 unless the card deserves it. And then there's BGS that just, you send them your cards, question mark, and then it's back to your house. Hey, but they can improve. They can improve. All they gotta do is just exit their 1999 setup and they should be fine, and they can join us in 2023. Anyways, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll see you guys in the next upload. Peace.